Welcome to the world of learning. Let's start exploring. Let's start learning. This is your very own educator, Sukriti Joshi, ma'am, your very own educator, teacher, philosopher, guide, mentor, friend, preacher, guru, one and all. And this is the one-stop destination that is English Gurukul, the Odyssey of education, wherein we can form beautiful bonds and wherein we can blossom and bloom and therefore connect with each other, right? So in today's session, I would be taking up the Rattrap, which is written by Selma Lagerlof, right? It's chapter number 4 from your Flamingo book. This is included in your curriculum, right? In your class in your standard 12 CBSE CBSE core curriculum, right? So in today's session, I'll be basically talking about these topics, right? So give me a moment. Yeah. So we would be talking about author, plot, theme, characters, setting and title, and summary. So we are going to have a look and we're going to dive deep into the recesses in order to find out the nuances of about the author, about the plot, about the theme, about the characters, about the setting and title. How important is the title, right? The rat trap. So what do you infer from the title? What do you understand? What do you decipher from the title? So that's what we are gonna study in today's session, right? I hope it's clear. Right. So let's start. What are we waiting for? So we get to see that the Rat Trap, it's written by Selma Lagerlof, as I've mentioned. The period that spans is between 1858 to 1910. To 1940, right? So 1858 to 1940. So Selma was born in the year 1858 in we get to see in Wittrum land, Sweden, right? She wrote stories and poems in the Swedish language, which later got translated into many other languages. Her stories had the universal theme of love, which awakened the goodness in all human beings. So, this is very important. Her stories had the universal theme. That means her stories were not limited to a specific area or to a specific zone. They covered a huge space, right? So it was universal. It was not meant only for one person or for one individual. Rather, it was universal in nature, right? And so universal theme of love. So herein we get to see that how it is talking about the universal theme of love, which awakened the goodness, that how through love we can actually metamorphose more, or transform or change any individual, even if that individual is having some bad traits or bad qualities or bad attributes have been attributed, that person can be transformed. So how through goodness and love, by showcasing love and goodness, one can be transformed, right? So in the story The Rat Trap, Salma gave her readers the message that love and acceptance can change any human being. So through this story, uh, that is the rat trap, she is basically delineating the fact that how, love, when we talk about love, when we talk about goodness, inner goodness, innate goodness, so to say, innate goodness that is there inside you, or anyone. So for example, let's take an example that I have innately I'm very good. I'm a very good person, and I want to transform you kids. I want to transform you guys out there. And because of my love, my affection, my uh sweet nature, my or because of the goodness that resides inside me, I can awaken the goodness that lies in you, but you haven't seen. You have basically, there's a shadow of darkness that is, lurking, that you're lurking with. So that would be totally be nullified if I can, as a teacher, obviously, as a teacher, as an educator, as a preacher, as your guru, as your mentor, and as your guide, I am there to transform you and to bring out the best out of you, right? So we are going to have a look at that as well, about these aspects as well, right? Deal? All right, let's move. And this is Selma Lagerlof. You can see she was Selma Lagerlof, the writer. Then we see important words. So, of the chapter 4, that is rat trap. The rat trap, right? So, this is the chapter, the rat trap. Okay? The rat trap, chapter 4. Herein we get to see monotonous. So we come on to the vocab part. I love the vocab part. I love the repertoire of words. So yeah, when I get to see new words, um, you know, uh, I show gratitude, and I'm more than happy to learn new words. Although, earlier I didn't like to, mug up, or I didn't like to, uh, I didn't feel like learning new words, but trust me, guys, adding new words to your vocab literally changes your life. So, monotonous means boring. So instead of using boring, you can just say monotonous. It was some very monotonous way of dealing. It was a very monotonous lecture that I felt asleep, right? So yeah, this way you can impress people as well. So herein, in this context, coming back to your lesson, herein we talk about monotonous, that means boring. Vagabond, that is a wanderer, right? Somebody who is wandering. Then we come on to plods, someone who walks heavily, right? Then bait. So bait is a kind of a food. It can be in any form actually. Baits are basically can be in the form of money, can be in the form of shelter, can be in the form of um riches, can be in the form of wealth, right? So, food placed on a hook to trap a rat. Basically, that's a bait for humans, right? Now, this is something that we are going to talk about. On the surface level, if we see the title, that is the rat trap. So, on the surface level, we might see, so it in literature, see, we have literal meanings and then we have metaphorical meanings. So the title, the rat trap, is metaphorical in nature. So, but on the literal surface, if we see, we will find out that how food placed on a hook to food is placed on a hook to trap a rat. Here it is referred to the comforts of life, which is offered to trap someone. So it could be luxuries, right? It could be for you, it could be, going in for Mac, book Mac Pro, or going in for iPhone, the latest version of iPhone, or it could be about buying the latest car, branded car. I know even if we have wealth, we should know how to utilize it judiciously, right? It is not to be wasted. It is also a kind of a resource, according to me, right? That's what I feel. Then talking about tempted, it means to tempted, convinced, cherished, to love or protect, to cherish the memories. When do we make use of that? You might have uh, read the poem also, My Mother at 66. You might have read A Thing of Beauty in your standard 12th only. So you get to see cherish. That means to embrace or to love or to protect, Dreary means dull, again monotonous. Dreary, it's boring, it's dull, it's monotonous, it's dreary. Plodding means walk heavily, to walk heavily, right? Snare, to trap. So basically, see, if we talk about the metaphorical level, um, the rat trap over here is setting of baits for humans, and then they fall into that rat trap, and like a rat. So there's a comparison that is being drawn. So a parallel has been drawn between a rat and humans, that how a rat falls for cheese or pork, uh, uh, and how he gets into that trap, right. Similarly, how human beings fall for the luxuries and for the um for example, if I want to buy, let's say, a Louis Vuitton, or I want to go in for uh anything, so we can say that, or yeah, Gucci. So if we go in for that luxurious stuff, we are falling in for certain baits. If you can afford it, well and good. But if you can't, just in order to show off, it's not something that is good, or sane. You have to be very cautious. So, trudging means to walk slowly, and snare means to trap, and Majolis, M is silent, so Jolis is a game played with playing cards. So it's a game played with cards, as it is shown in the figure, right? It's shown in the figure. Herein you can see the rat traps. Herein you can see the rat traps. These are the rat traps. These are the rat traps, right? These are the rat traps. Wait, what's happening? Yeah, these are the rat traps, and these are the cards, right? This is Majolis. So these are the rat traps, and these are Majolis. Here, now, generous means liberal, prosperity means riches, as you can see. Prosperity means riches. Crofter means a person who works on a rented farm. So a person who is working on a rented farm. Clear? Crofter means a person who works on a rented farm. Uh, creamery or creamery, that means a factory that produces cheese and cream. So creamery or creamery, right? Kroner is the currency of Sweden. So kroner, this is an important. Kroner is the currency of Sweden. Kroner is the currency of Sweden, right? So we will see 30 kroner and 10 kroners each. 10 into 3 will make it to 30. This will be confusing, so I'm just telling you people, before you start reading the lesson or before you start off with the real, when I say reading, obviously you must have, obviously you should have completed all the lessons by now thoroughly. You must have and should have not only read but also understood. But if you haven't, there are certain points in this lesson wherein you can make mistakes. So some things are there that you need to keep in your mind. So for example, 30 kroner notes, sometimes he will refer to it as 30 kroner, sometimes as 10 notes. So that would make it to 10 plus 10 plus 10 would be 30, like this. So some children get baffled at this stage, right? In this particular area. Then moving on, just give me a second. Yeah. Then we come on to characters. So we get to see Edla. See how beautiful she is. Edla Williamson, right? Edla Williamson, who was the daughter of who we will get to see. Now we see over here, just see. This person is the crofter. This person is the crofter. And this person, as you can see through the dressing sense, also the way he's dressed up, you can identify that he's the peddler and he is having a lot of rat traps. So these are the rat traps that he used to make in his free time. And otherwise he used to basically do that. I will be explaining in while I'm explaining the chapter. But otherwise he used to basically feel used to you wanted to feel bad about others, so he used to have feelings that were not positive, that were negative. He had this ill feeling towards people, that how people should, people keep on falling in the rat traps, and the baits are set for them and they fall, and he used to derive pleasure from it. So by thinking ill about people, by thinking ill about the people and how they fall by seeing the baits, or by you know they just fall into the rat trap, they're trapped by it, and he just laughs, and he just has, like, he he has that kind of sadistic personality. He has that sadistic aura. So he's a sadist also, right? We can say that he's a sadist also, because he derives pleasure when he sees people in pain. And he has ill thoughts. He thinks ill about others. Dressing sense, you can see the way he is dressed. Rat traps you can see. He's the crofter, the old man who is alone, who is who is not having any family, who is not married. So he's not married. He's not married. Does not have any kids. He's all alone. And therefore he gives him the shelter. And therefore he provides him the shelter, right? Therefore he provides him the shelter. There is no other reason. So we see him, some children think that he's very kind, but, and according to me also, he is kind, but it is also out of his loneliness. The way he feels that uh, emotion, the emotion of loneliness, that is the pivotal point that we get to see that why he's actually giving shelter to this person who is now going to rob his, who's Crofter's 30 kroner. He's going to rob Crofter's 30 kroner. Clear? All right. Is that clear? I hope it is clear. It's night and I'm taking this class at night. I've taken my class, so I am actually having my paid batches. So in the afternoon, I am having my paid batches, and I'll take my paid batches. And at night, I feel sleepy as well. So energy goes down automatically. Having taught in the afternoon and the evening, then energy does uh go down. So don't mind that. So in order to bring the energy back, you have to work very hard. So now we are going to build that energy, right? So we get to see Iron Master now. Yes, now who has entered into the picture, who has entered into the movie, who has entered into the climax, not climax, but who is Iron Master now? So the Rattrap seller is a homeless wanderer. So as we all know, he's a homeless wanderer, and who in his free time, just wants to think ill about people. That's all he does. Who and he also likes to steal because he cannot make his ends meet. So because he's not able to make his ends meet, he's not able to survive. Otherwise, he won't be able to survive. So he steals, right, along with selling rat traps. Because with selling rat traps, he cannot uh, make his both ends meet. Then the rat trap seller is a homeless wanderer who stays for a night in the cottage of the old crofter. So he stays there for a night, but in the cottage of the old crofter, the old crofter entertains him as a guest. So the old crofter is basically entertaining him as a guest. Clear? So the old crofter is entertaining him as a guest. Clear? Oh.